Everett Sands is the CEO of Lendistry, and he joins us now. Everett, thanks for being with us this morning.
And thanks for the opportunity to be here.
So I do want to talk about state programs like the one in California, but first, just what we're seeing from the federal level, the extension around PPP loans and the offerings there. I mean, given the fact that we're, almost a year into that program and the extensions on that program, how would you compare it now versus last year? Are we operating smoothly? Are small businesses that are applying able to get what they need?
Yeah, I think the Biden administration overall has done a pretty good job. I mean, let's face it, small businesses came into this pandemic in a financially precarious position. Like running a sports team, the administration has constantly had to make tweaks to the program. We're at our third iteration of those tweaks. And I think as we're looking at it today, and you look at some of the tweaks they made 2 weeks ago, some of those small businesses now have access to capital. The extension that Congress has made a decision to make in terms of PPP, I think all of that is fortuitous in terms of those small businesses that need the money. I also think that it's not a silver bullet, right? And so not only is PPP important, but there are other programs that have been put into the stimulus. For example, the State Small Business Credit Initiative, which has 600% more funds than it did the last time these programs were rolled out. They're going to help with credit enhancements for those small businesses that have weaker credit profiles. There's a part of that bill that requires technical assistance and education to the small businesses. And I also think there's some other programs out there like the restaurant program, the restaurant grant program, shuttered venue grant program. And as well as you mentioned, there's some money out there that are going to states, roughly $350 billion.
Do businesses know, and particularly small businesses, know all the opportunities to tap into funding and aid that are out there? I mean, how easy is it for them to navigate, especially, I think, given your position as this hybrid business model? I would imagine there's quite a balance to be struck between the hand-holding and the actual personal interaction versus the tech and automation and the role that plays.
Yeah, well, so first, at Lendistry, we're a mission-based lender that focuses on tech and traditional lending to help underserved small businesses in a scalable way. We've taken over 500,000 in applications, grant and loan applications, and this year alone, we'll deploy roughly about $3 billion and hopefully more. I think if you're running one of these programs right now, you do have to think about it. Like, does the intermediary or the administrator know the applicant pool? Have they ever had any scale, been able to deploy capital into rural areas as well as urban areas? And what's been their performance? And you're right, we've got to figure out ways to get the small businesses to know how the money that's out there in their different programs. At Lendistry, we generally build a pretty big ecosystem of mission-based lenders, business service organizations, community service organizations in order to deploy capital. In California, our first 15 days, we took in 344,000 applications. That's all about knowing that community, knowing, how to reach them, know how to touch them. And we were building rapport with the community before the pandemic. Now we've just obviously accelerated that.
344,000 applications. How many of those applying are actually going to be able to see the money? And I guess even more importantly, are the ones that are most in need going to be able to get the money, especially, I think from a lending standard and credit standpoint?
Well, if you're running one of these programs, there's just no excuse to have a blunt program at this point in time. As you mentioned, we're about 12 months in. We now know what to do, and I have 3 suggestions for the county administrators, the city administrators, and the governors that are out there. First, no more first come, first serve. Just take it completely out of the equation. We got to deploy the capital swiftly and scalably, and we got to get it into the right hands. And then, last, what I would say is you can use scorecards and algorithms to make sure that capital is distributed equitably. That's something that Lendistry has figured out. I mean, we run 12 programs now, and, the answer to your questions are we can help those underserved communities in a scalable way. And when I say we, I mean, it's everybody. It's the whole community. It takes a village to get this done.
All right, Everett Sands, thanks for joining us and giving us your insights this morning.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.